Well, I had something if you want to talk about it, and this might be I don't know if it has anything to do with, whatever, but it's based on something that we've kind of talked about before. We've talked about how everybody wants to ban stuff and change stuff and everything, and I just saw that came up in my feed today that now people have a problem with Snow White. Because Prince Charming came and kissed Snow White. Mind you, to bring her back to life. But because it was not consequent, it wasn't, she didn't say okay to kiss her because she was dead. But people are mad because Prince Charming just kissed her.
Wow.
So I don't know why. Why are people upset about that? For years this hasn't been a problem, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. Everything's a problem now.
Well, yeah, that's because everyone can hear anything at any moment. We can post our opinions, so then it's spreading like wildfire. And everyone wants to be upset about something because they like anger. I don't know.
That's part of it, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like getting fired up over things, and I get fired up over things like this sometimes, so...
Yeah, you being upset about the Snow White thing is like them being upset about Snow White.
It's the opposite of them being upset about it, right? I mean, yeah, they want to change the plot line. It's about debate around kissing and consent.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're just going to let Snow White die?
Maybe she'll like project visions onto him and say, "You need to come kiss me," blah blah blah.
That's good.
I should write for Disney.
I guess.
Yeah. Then Prince Charming can then be like, "She said yes in a dream." Totally okay.
I know.
She astral projected onto me.
No, I think you touched on it though. Was the fact that people get so upset about this stuff, and then in turn, I get equally upset.
Yeah,
they're upset about it.
It's the irony of screaming for peace. I love that expression of like you're feeding the aggression with more aggression, even though your message is good.
I'm just
like judging someone for being a judgmental asshole makes you a judgmental asshole.
Right.
It's horrible.
Exactly. But I'm right.
And you are. So, emotions.
Yes.
I feel like I've already ranted to you about them, but...
and I don't think you've ever brought up...
Express them.
your particular favorite one.
Oh, have I? Oh, favorite one. I mean, I think everyone's favorite is like happiness. It's what we all want.
But we've also discussed the fact that people thrive on anger.
Yeah, it's a very addictive one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's more subconscious, though, I feel. But... I like being content. It's a good middle ground.
Content's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm very good with content.
It's happy. I have this element of like, well, when's this going to fade out?
It's going to end sometime.
Yeah. This is great, but...
Yeah.
Plus, happiness is a new one for me.
Right.
Yeah. Excitement, that's an interesting one. I felt it recently with this whole idea. It's kind of been like...
Right. I mean, I don't generally get like... I guess I don't feel like I get too excited. I get internally excited. I don't get like externally excited.
Yeah. My friend told me, he said, when he's just very like monotone and whatnot, and he says, I open a Christmas gift and on the inside I'm fucking backflips, but on the outside I'm like, thanks.
Like, thanks. Yeah.
But on the inside you're like, oh my God.
This is the best gift ever.
Why can't we express that in person? Like, what?
It's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I think it has to do with something, where
it's a guy thing.
Well, it's partially a guy thing, but I think you do have people who do it a little too much. I guess the saying is, wear your emotions on your sleeve, so to speak, and, some people do it very well.
Well, I kind of envy them, though, because sometimes I feel... Yeah. So that leads me to my least favorite emotion. I was thinking of that earlier, is being numb. Like apathy, feeling hollow. I'd rather feel anger or shame's if you want. I hate shame too, but I'd rather feel something than nothing.
True.
But sometimes I feel like I'm too in my head and being intellectual with the whole idea of, I don't know, life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as far as that goes, the least favorite one for me it wouldn't be numbness, but I don't like feeling annoyed.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's, I just hate that.
Do I annoy you?
Not at the moment, Jake. No, you don't annoy me.
If recording this together, we'll find some enemy territory.
Some annoyances.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's bound to happen. But
no, I'm excited to fight.
All right.
To disagree, I want to see some good disagreements.
I'm sure that'll happen.
I think that's important in any friendship or relationship, is to be able to disagree. It's very
agree to disagree, so to speak.
Yeah. I know that your view is different than mine, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Quite often,
I'm good with that, and not enough people can do that.
I'm not. I can't always do that. So my friends can't either. Very, very heavy opinions, and they'll be like, "Well, here's why I'm right," and they'll send you a paragraph.
I can secretly think it, but I wouldn't outwardly say so. I mean, I could be like, "Yeah, you got a good point there."
And on the inside,
you're dead wrong.
It's like doing backflips on the inside, but you're the middle finger.
Right. You're just like, no, you're so wrong. But, no, yeah, you got a good point.
I'll let you have that. You have a good point. Don't encourage them.
I'm great at handling confrontation if it comes at me, but I don't create confrontation.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if confrontation's there and I need to deal with it, I'll deal with it, but I will do anything in my power to avoid causing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, does that include lying to someone?
Maybe.
You're recorded.
Maybe.
I mean, me too.
It depends. I mean, it's obviously, it wouldn't be, anything major, but I mean, it's just to avoid a silly confrontation, would I, tell a fib, so to speak? Absolutely. I mean, if it's something real and serious, and then
it's not so
needs
silly
to be dealt with,
then
we'll deal with it. But most of the time, it's nothing.
But I feel like
totally egregious. It's just going to be something stupid. More right?
Yeah.
How many serious arguments do we have in our lives?
Yeah. How many problems do we have?
How many problems are really problems? Right?
Yeah. Like running out of coffee or something. It's like. By the way, speaking of problems, the water I'm currently drinking tastes like rust.
Where'd you get it?
From the kitchen sink.
Well, you're not supposed to get it from the kitchen sink. You're supposed to get it.
That's what we give to the patients.
Which kitchen sink, though?
I don't know. It's in the container that is there for the patients to drink.
Oh.
And it tastes like rust.
There's probably
or blood.
Something in your mouth.
Thanks. It's my fault. You're right. See? Lying.
Lying to avoid silly confrontation.
So back to the actual subject at hand, emotions.
Yes.
So the idea of acting on emotions versus suppressing emotions. The Buddhist aspect is to sit with the emotion, to do neither of those two, because their aspect is acting on the emotion or suppressing it is trying to get rid of however you feel in the moment.
Oof.
And trying to get rid of however you feel becomes habitual. So then every time your anger comes up, you want to act out. Every time you have anger, you don't know how else to get rid of it. And what happens if you're angry at someone and you have nothing to hit other than a wall of the person near you?
So one more time, say that one more time for me, because
acting out or suppressing.
Acting out or suppressing
is a form of I don't want to feel this. So either of those two is getting rid of the energy.
Those are two things I do exactly.
Oh yeah,
I either act out on it or I suppress it,
or both. Suppress it long enough and then you act out.
No, I think I do one or the other. Is what I'm saying. I'm like, I'll either just lash out or I'll just go numb, so to speak, and just suppress it and be like, yep, okay, yep. So yeah, I guess I'm not very Buddhist.
Well, I do too. I mean, I do both.
I mean, I try to think when I'm suppressing it that I'm really just trying to sit with it and think about it, but I don't think I really am. I think I'm just avoiding conflict again.
At least I mean,
I think so.
You don't have to go to therapy after 10 years of suppressing your anger.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, yeah. Well, so the idea is the middle ground is to sit with it, which is something none of us do. It's a very foreign idea to me, at least when I read about it. It's to look at emotions like internal weather. That's just these sensations that are coming up. and you can sit with that sensation, and when you do, it comes and it goes on its own if you don't fight it or block it or act on it.
Sure.
Which is a very trippy experience, may I say. If I get angry at someone, sit down, and first you have to drop the storyline, because psychologically our thoughts feed our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you ruminate about whatever you're upset about, which we all are very good at, it keeps the emotion running, and then you're just getting more, bent out of shape, even if you're trying to solve the...
So essentially you're trying to analyze it.
Yeah, you're trying to fix it in your head.
I mean, but see, I think if I spent all the time doing that, and I would probably forget about what the hell the issue was anyway.
Wait.
I'd probably go down some rabbit hole, like, trying to analyze the emotion or the thought or whatever, and then I'd end up somewhere else. And
thinking of pretzels. And
then, like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, what the hell was I even thinking about?
Yeah. Shows a silly problem. Yeah, it's...
I mean, it makes sense, but it just, I think it would, I think I would eventually just forget about what the hell I was trying to think about.
But I look at it...
Maybe I'll learn to do these things, hanging out with you, Jake.
Hey, I'm new to the whole emotion thing, so... But I look at it as in, whatever we feel doesn't go away until we face it one way or another. So even if you forget about it, it's kind of buried deep, and then something later on triggers you, and you're extra angry about it, and you don't even know why.
Yeah.
Because it's stored away in your subconscious mind. It's very weird. Yeah, it's waiting for you.
Waiting to rear its ugly head.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. Resentment is the worst emotion, I think, to hold on to, and it's so sticky. Mm-hmm. And anytime I people please, which is the worst thing to do to someone, you build resentment towards that person as you're saying, yeah, that's fine, and underneath it just this boiling pot
all the time.
Yeah. Then eventually it comes out, and because they leave something out in the kitchen or something. And you just explode, and you don't know why.
Yeah. Or you do know why. It's just
and you ignore it and blame them.
Remember 3 years ago when you...
Yeah. It's always good to hold people accountable for 20 years of their life.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to look at emotions through a different lens other than, it's someone's fault. Look at it through, it's just sensations that we put words to.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's kind of scientific. You're well, anger is now interesting, or shame's now...
It's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. Well, there's an actual system in our brain. It's called the approach and avoidance system towards anything that we interact with.
I remember you talking about this before.
Yeah. See, I'm going to repeat myself a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, that's okay.
No, yeah. It's recorded now. Yeah. No, we won't have to. But basically it's either we avoid something because we fear it, or we approach something because we're curious or we like it. And our whole system is activated in one of those two ways. And when one is active, the other is not. So if a feeling shows up, one of the systems goes into effect. So what if we avoid one of our emotions? Then we run from ourselves. Then that emotion gets worse. It's like worrying about the fact you're worried.
Right.
Angry that you're angry. It's stupid, but we do it every day.
We do it every day.
But if you change that to be more curious, and you're what is anger? And you kind of look at it through different... I mean, it's hard to do that when you're in the fire.
In the throes of it, sure. I mean, again, this is all about learning from things. So, I mean, if it's something you can look back on afterwards and be I could have looked at that a little differently, and look at it differently then, and then be and then act differently the next time around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thought process behind it.
I learn the most after I'm an idiot.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
We all do.
Sometimes during, but then there's a danger of
hardly ever during. Come on, it's always after.
You're not in my head sometimes. Speak for yourself.
Well, come on, you never know doing something going, well, I get that, I don't know, I guess, but, this is a really bad idea, but I'm going to keep going.
You have seen me where I've said, I see these hooks that, I want to, there's this whole storyline of complaining that I don't want to buy into, but I'm totally going to buy into it, and then I buy into it, and then I'm just bitching. I think that's the training of it, is first you notice it after. Eventually you start to notice it during. Then someday, maybe, you notice it before it even occurs. As it arises, you notice, oh, I know this song.
Well, that's the hope. I mean, I'm basically saying the same thing.
Sure. And the silly problem...
That's what it made sense in my head that way, anyway.
The silly problem is where we start. You start with small things. You start with a tick that bothers you, and you save it instead. Just as a random example, not something I did.
Not something that you did that
was it yesterday?
Causing other animals to lose its life, but
yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday.
Animal or person.
Right. Well, I doubt if it was that kind of tick, then it would be a person, but
animals can't. What do animals do when they get a tick? They can't pick it off. They bite it off?
Where it is, yeah, they probably bite it off.
Because I heard like the moose are like dying out because ticks.
Well, I would imagine a moose doesn't have the range of motion that like a dog does. I mean, it'd be a little hard to
his antlers can't.
Dogs can pretty much get at any area of their body, either with their paws or their mouth. So, whereas I don't think a moose has that much range of motion. It's a large animal.
Yeah, now we're off topic. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can.
Hold on, let me get my my list. Well, that brings me to rumination.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Brooding, overthinking something over and over.
Rumination. Okay.
Yeah. Just sitting on something that makes you worry and you can't stop thinking about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a record player in your head.
I got you.
So the science of that one is, like I said, our thoughts feed our emotions. So the minute you're ruminating about something, I don't know if you do as much with other people. You seem pretty not stuck in your head all the time.
Yeah, I don't ruminate very often. That's why I didn't know what it meant.
You don't think a lot, so but I overanalyze. You've met me, so I that's one of my Achilles heel is ruminating about something, and that's what causes depression and anxiety, is worrying about the past or worrying about the future. Either way, you're stuck in your head.
Dare I say this? I'm going to say this. My wife ruminates a lot.
I know many people that do. I'm
not saying it's a bad thing, but
I am.
You are. But yeah.
Well, the cure to rumination is to drop out of your head somehow. And we talked about this. Get something do something that will get you in your body, like go golfing or something.
Right.
Not everyone golfs, but it's the only thing I know about you. Other than you might be a cook.
Might be. Yes, I golf and cook.
Those are two ways to get out of your head.
Right.
And you do yoga.
I don't do yoga, but I'm going to start.
Have you ever? I just started.
I never have, but my wife and I keep talking about we're going to.
My girlfriend and I talked about it for 2 years. We finally do it now.
Yeah?
I'm very bad at it.
See, I'm waiting for him to open up at Spofford, the beach at Spofford, Wares Grove. They do it on the beach on Sunday mornings.
Wow, that's very,
specific?
Yeah. I do it on YouTube, and I probably do it wrong, but I don't want to go in person because I know I do it wrong, and they'll correct me.
It's pretty chill, though. I mean,
it looks chill, but your body's screaming.
Well, I'm sure, but I think it would be great for my golf game, though.
How much of your body do you use in golf?
Almost all of it.
Okay, I've never played. I've done mini golf.
Hips, legs, arms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much all of it.
Do you run after the ball after you hit it?
No, I don't run.
Sorry to imply that you do some cardio.
I walk slowly with a beer in my hand.
That's why you like golf. It's not about the scenery and the people that you care about. It's the beer.
Well, it's all of those things in combined. But we're getting off topic again of rumination.
Oh, yeah, we should probably... Oh, God. So the idea of rumination, the metaphor I've heard for it is spilled milk. When they spilled milk, the best way to clean up milk was just to work with the milk you spilled, so you just clean it up as it is. But if you try to spray water on the milk, it makes the mess even bigger, and you can't tell the difference between the milk you spilled and the water you added. That's ruminating. You're adding to the fire, thinking you're solving the problem of anxiety or depression or why am I unhappy. And then you're fueling that emotion without realizing it, and at the end of it, you can't tell where the base of that emotion was and where it is now.
Is that a very specific metaphor for this? For rumination? Is that where Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk came from?
Yeah, I read it in a book. I don't think that's where that came from, though.
It just seemed very specific. I mean,
yeah, well, for me, it stuck out because it's like, okay, so if I'm worried and anxious, work with that right then.
Right,
Sit with anxiety.
Can you do me a favor right now? I'm sorry, we can't go on. Can you fix your collar, please? It's really...
No.
It's all askew.
They can't see us. It doesn't matter.
I can. Are you going to do that now?
Should I put the headband on?
Okay, that's better.
We'll have
okay,
moments
now
of
we can move on. Sorry.
You as I'm talking about overthinking something, you're thinking about my caller.
Exactly.
So I like this. Your mind is so different than mine. It's very good balance, I'd say. It'll be interesting to throw someone else in the mix that also is very much analytical. I don't know who I'm referring to, but
yeah, I don't know.
It would be great to hear it.
Yeah, that would be.